We have a lot to farm. And thankfully we have data miners that get this information early. I'm gonna pull up the list right now. Oh boy, I feel like... I don't know, I'm a little surprised by the list. Because it feels lacking in some ways for what Wikelo is going to require for the Idris. Because like the player is pretty much required a lesser amount than what is listed for the Idris. And then some like random odd off the wall things like a red toy gun. I can't remember the name of it. And then a bunch of Finleys, etc. So I am going to venture a guess that this list is not complete. Just a wild shot in the dark there. But what we do know, allegedly, is that it's going to require 50 Wikelo favor, 50 players bits, 50 comp board 5s, 50 Karenite, 50 irradiated Velikar Fangs, the Apex one obviously, 50 MG script, 50 Ace Pilots, oh god, 30 AAA grade pearls, 36 to platoon medals, 30 pure Karenite, 30 ASD secure drives, and 5 of each recombinant. Just the recombinant grind alone is going to take ages. Like, that's going to take like at least a week to farm that, let alone all of the other shit. And that, my guess is that list isn't complete, and we will likely end up seeing, like, I could see the Vanduul bits being added to that list. But figure may as well get that grind started now, because it's gonna be a long one. I do have mild ulterior motive to doing this, so like it's kind of like a two birds one stone thing for me. But by the way, the paint sucks. They made the Idris Polaris, the Idris Polaris, the Wikelo Idris paint suck? No way. Someone already find the paint for it? What's it look like? Either way, I'm gonna get it. Just so I could have the Wikelo Idris. But I might end up having to get an additional paint. If that's the case. Damn it, dude. Why do they gotta keep releasing... Why can't they just keep Wikelo paint being the same theme? I get they want to do different things and fail. Looking at the Ares and the A2 and the Prowler, but that sucks.
Your insurance claim has been sent. Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility. Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has placed visitors.
That's kind of a bummer. Of course the paint sucks, man. Ah, man. Oh, that's something else I need to check. I don't remember. Might need to make a trip down to Area 18 to see if I can find the find out what recombinants I have. I'm gonna do recombinants tonight because there's, I mean, 15 of each kind. Well, 15 of each code. Not code, catalyst. 15 of each catalyst. 5 of each code for each catalyst. A total of 40 fucking 5 is so much. I mean, even if you're like speedrunning that shit and being the most efficient you could possibly be, you're doing like 30-40 minutes of run. You're looking at like let's just round it up to an hour for easy math. That is like 40, 45 hours of grind. Just that alone. That is painful, dude. That is like full-time job, weeks worth of grind just for the recombinant.
You are clear to launch.
But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get that Idris all for myself and then not be able to use it because engineering. It was a mock-up paint. Might still be good. It better be the same paint style as the Polaris. If the Idris paint is horrible looking, I am going to be disappointed. And I will just buy an Idris paint with store credit and put it on there. Not even have to worry about it. I'm dreading now what it may end up looking like. $30 AAA grade pearls too, like that, dude. This shit's gonna take me months. It's gonna take me like 2-3 months probably. And that's if I avidly just hyper focus on that every single time I log on. What do I want the Idris for? Have it? Why would I want the Polaris? Have it? Would you want a $1,000 to $2,000 ship for free? I sure would. The solo Polaris stuff, it did great. The Idris should only be better, but then they just dropped another patch that reduced armor for all ships. And her decoration, yeah. I mean, we'll see how it turns out. I could probably just use it as like a mobile base to operate out of with engineering
Please proceed to
armor
assigned
and all that
landing
jazz
bay.
coming in next patch. It's gonna be so rough. But think of the potential. Of course, there's these gluttonous, self-entitled whales out there. They're like, all these other players should not have access to the Idris. How dare you spit on my face for paying an exorbitant amount for an Idris? Well, don't get mad at CIG for delivering what they said they would. It's no one's fault but their own for making poor financial decisions. With engineering right around the corner, will you be able to fly it for stuff? Yes. Within reason. I mean, there's not going to be a whole hell of a lot that could punch through the armor, I feel like, but I'll be able to fly it. Will I be able to use it in combat?
Sorry.
No.
Due to inactivity, we have been forced to assign your landing
Polaris,
zone to another
it would
customer.
be manageable with the PDCs. I don't know if the Idris would. But at least I'd have it for like group stuff. So there's that to think about, I guess. Damn, I have a lot more script than I realized. No, stack it. Okay. Or not stacking, I guess. I only need 20 more of those, so that's not too bad. What component do I have? I have an XTL2 and a PWL2. Only 43 more recombinant to go. So painful. I wouldn't say engineering's a clusterfuck. I think clusterfuck is a bit of an overstatement on how it is. I think it's relatively fine. There's a lot still that they have to balance with it.
You are clear to launch.
Certain weapons and ships got ignored when it came to getting the numbers right. It was the weekend review summary video. Well, you know, I'm assuming you mean Salty Mike. He's usually fairly grounded with what he has to say. He's never, like, too over the top, mostly. It was a bit much for him to say, like, oh, the L-22 Wolf is like a flight module. Same could be said about the Ion and the Inferno. I do, however, dislike the fact that they sell weapon kits separately and not have it available in game. But supposedly the weapon kit's gonna be coming in next patch, so whatever. Not a single ship you've flown has had issues flying, overheat, all at zero blowing up is supposed to happen. Right, yeah, you know, after a certain point, the thing does blow up. It's just that, you know, your soft deathing doesn't happen. Your equivalent to soft death with engineering coming out is a component going down. Yeah, the 4.5 is just going to be a never-ending endeavor of trying to balance. Unfortunately. Dude, I just realized the amount of creds I'll have once I finish this. Oh, I'm gonna be filthy rich.
Client seems to think there's more to uncover at Onyx. Wants you to run Yorit's experiment again and suggested
Shit, I just called the wrong one.
Try shit and see what sticks. I'll leave it to
The Wolf L21 is coming to shops post Wikelo 4.5. Not the Wolf weapon kits? I remember them, like, no, I think they said that in the same breath, didn't they? Maybe I misheard them, but I'm pretty sure they were like, they addressed the weapon kit thing, and they were like, yeah, they'll be available in shops, and then they're like, and in addition with that, the Heartseeker will be coming in. Cut the notes, you'll send them. Oh, for fuck's sake. Because, like, I could swear the way Jared worded that was like, yeah, we just didn't put the Heartseeker one in because it just kind of slipped through the cracks. But that was like him also in the same breath addressing the weapon kit situation with the Wolf. Bro, why are you having me route over there? The fuck? I look forward to the routing being fixed. When will that happen? signal to an on point.
Quantum drive is now on. Quantum drive is now off.
No allowing me to route there, huh? Dude, what the fuck? This is bullshit. This is straight up not letting me route. I'm gonna have to time this. Well, that worked out great, didn't it? Like, I can stop that in between. No. Are you fucking the cancel not canceling is so mildly frustrating, dude. It's so annoying. All right. Some notes while I coast in, I guess. Ships, add Referral 21 and to ship shops. That is some dumb ass bullshit, dude. What? Why would they? Makes me mad. That's so stupid. Just make it available in game. It should only be like a month if they're gonna do that shit. Not a give us money, and then we'll add it in for available for everybody else to snag when we feel like it. I mean, technically, you could snag them off of other ships, but so stupid. I want to sell 30 pure Karenite? No. And you think I got money like that? You're insane. I got like 3 mil to my name right now. I am a brokey and Star Citizen standards.
Deck impact warning.
There ain't no way you've got 30 pure Karenite already, too. To do a thing real quick. It'll make sense later. I am actively going to get B-roll while I do this as well. I don't know how I want to do this. I gotta reposition the ship. And then I'll run in there. I don't... Well, I guess I'll grab Fresnel ammo while I'm inside. All I have is pulverizer on me. And I guess I'll just swap the attachments. Testing the fire? I can't imagine why. If you really want, I suppose. I don't know. Oh, I'm an idiot. Shit. I did not need to turn around the ship. I had it positioned just fine. This is one of those missions where I don't feel the need to have help, though. Farming the Apex of Valakar, though, that's gonna... I'm gonna have to do that so fucking much. I'll have so many AA pearls by the time I'm done. More fun of missions we're working, but they won't spawn anything. What, PTU is scuffed? No, what? Never would have expected that. That the emblem. I guess it, yeah, it kind of is. Important work being done here. I have like 45 runs to be able to do this, but need to get it done earlier than later. Or quantums you away from the actual mission location. Yeah, all I can say is I'm not surprised. That's what I have 100% expected. Damn it. I'm annoyed I didn't grab max left. Do I have the additional... I don't have anything up to the torso. Well, I'm probably gonna have to print a tool out. Don't act like I only got one. I got two. What the hell? What the other one? Oh, it's sick. It's doing the thing. Oh, even better. Damn. Mining and salvage. I'll have to get a tractor beam while I'm down here. Why do I do this to myself? I am walking in here and I'm like, I am so beyond not looking forward to this. It's so much a grind, dude. I'm detouring myself by getting some B-roll while I'm at it, but does that even do anything? What the fuck? Does not feel like it. Bruh. Setting not. Yeah, I guess I gotta change that. Whatever. Nice. Let me just walk over every bit of terrain that's gonna wiggle the camera around. I mean, surely they'll fix things like, you know, quantum not working in certain ships and whatnot by the time 4.5 goes live. But as far as what's broken over there, I never care what's broken because, you know, it's PTU, you know? I'd be more baffled if it was working fully as intended. Change the keybinds on me or something? Oh, it did. Oh wait, no, that's not the one I wanted. Carries over. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, still at the end of the day, I just don't care. Because it's not what I'm actively having to deal with, so that is a mess for future me to deal with if it ends up in my lap or not. But if it's not in the live version, I'm not gonna care how broken it is. Because they still have like 2 weeks to fix it. If it's broken, it's broken. What are we gonna do about it? Other than bitching out about it. Until the devs fix it. I am not that dedicated to testing this game. You know? I'm just here to have fun, enjoy what I can, find out what's broken, and then move on to whatever isn't broken. Into the testing aspect, but just, you know, kind of ironic considering, you know, that's all we are, just testers, but either way. I didn't say it doesn't matter, dude. I don't know why you're defending it so much. I'm just like, I don't care. What the fuck? I just don't care. That's all it is, dude. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. Oh, fuck. Well... Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong, Biggs. I'm not disagreeing with you. But yeah, but all I am saying is I do not care. I have a very strong feeling we're going to get a lot of Vandal metal and plating as well in order to get the Idris. The fact that's not on the list is a little suspect. Gonna break? No, it is. All I care about at the moment is getting ahead of the curve with the farming Idris. There's already a bunch of orcs. I'm trying to get all the mats for it. I don't know why I did that. 'Cause that always breaks like immediately. Oh, don't. Please don't break. I do not have the patience today. I have been dealing with the dumbass blender bullshit. I do not want to deal with too many bugs right now. Ironic and kind of stupid of me to, boot up Star Citizen if that were the case. But let me tell you what. Baking normals is a pain in the dick, dude. It drives me nuts. It's not so bad when you're dealing with like a low poly, or relatively low poly model, but when you're cranking it up to like, oh, the high poly model is like a mil, and then you're trying to boil that down to like 16K. Finding that sweet spot so it doesn't artifact is maddening. Seems like Polaris parts times 2. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically what it is. I mean, it's a little over times 2, but yeah. Like 2.5. I feel like there's gonna be more to it. If that's all there is to the list, then I'm honestly gonna be kind of surprised. No way one just damn. Like that disengaged faster than it normally does. What the hell am I hitting? There was just nothing. Oh, right. Star Citizen. And them and their invisible collisions. I really need to get a med gun thing. A refill. That's not until way up there. Shit. I wonder if they still have the bug where the rocky bits are there and you can just close the pipe anyway. Nope, they fixed that. Okay. Off the wall. Oh my god, are any of those things respawn? Get to that off the wall question. When you have a plate of food on multiple sides, do you completely eat each side before moving to the next? Pick bites randomly? I think it depends for me. Depends what the food is. If it gets cold fast. That sort of thing. I think overall though, I probably. Yeah, no, there's no rhyme or reason. Okay, there is a module in there. I think more often than not, I'll eat each thing separately as I go through the plate, but like I said, it also depends. So if I have something spicy and then there's something on my plate that's not spicy, then I can use that as like a palate cleanser to tone down the spice. Hello? There we go. My play style suggests the former. Ow. The fuck? What? What about my playstyle suggests that? How could you pick up anything from my playstyle to indicate that? I feel like someone might be projecting. Is it because how I did this puzzle? There is a reason why I just did it that way. What the fuck? What a wild thing to come into stream with, dude. What the what? What? That thing died so fast. Okay, I'm like, oh no. I might actually get hit by this thing. No. Oop, okay, but that guy will get me. Oh shit. You better have a follow-up to that, Trey. Yeah. You gotta have a follow-up to that. Shit, I need the... completely clear NPCs before advancing. If you're just making that deduction purely from this patch, why do you think that might be? No, that's not entirely true either. No. 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 That's not true at all. I don't know where you drew that from. Just have to print a new mining tool and take the tractor beam from that. The NPCs have a... It was a stab What? I'm all for like jestful jabs and like banter, but the what? There was no base to it. As I'm actively doing something that's not clearing enemies first. There we go. Still kind of baffled by that stab as he did it. I don't think there's been a single time where I've done that. Even my recent Pharaoh data center runs, I just cleared what was in my way. I see you running there without being killed completely and not killing everything that's between you and the data center. How does that relate to eating your food in like a segregated way? Oops. Fuck, I did it to 2 in a row. Okay. Agriculture still? Yeah. Just don't see any, like, solid foundation of that take, though. I've never done that. If something's going to kill me before I get to the objective I'm gonna kill it first. That's just survival. Oh boy, things are just spawning in abundance right now. I can't see the fucker that's shooting me. It was almost wholly based on the recent Pharaoh attempts. Almost wholly based? No, I think that was purely based off of that. That wasn't the case with the QV runs or anything. What the, I mean... Wild. You look at any of my other runs or any other patch that I've done anything, that is not the case. It's like watching someone drive for the first time and they happen to make 2 left turns in that one trip. And you're like, man, you seem to only make left turns when you drive. But you've been in the car for 5 minutes. Come on, open. taking the Fresnel almost feels like a mistake with how slow it makes me move. It'll be good once I have ammo for the range and stability. So the pulverizer has no stability. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to do this shit, man. Not just dive around. I know how fast I can run this, but does it not give you? It's so. Oh shit, that's not what I wanted. That's so shit. Why would it not have the option to print a refill? Is there any refills in here? I don't want to get rid of my fancy med gun. I've got 30 seconds. I'll pass. I'll just wait. Started watching your Dune days and saw you enjoying some Arc Raiders, but bro, I've been playing. Yeah, play Star Citizen too. I've been playing Star Citizen more than anything since Dune. I feel like a Star Citizen is a guilty pleasure. A masochistic guilty pleasure. I know it's gonna be painful, I know it's gonna suck, and it's gonna be grindy, but I love it. They really need to make this menu a little cleaner, I feel like. That is not the tool I asked for. There we go. How convenient. I don't have to pull the lever. Been playing since 2015. I've been playing a lot longer than I have. I've been playing since like 2020. I think closer to end of 2019 actually. So like 5 years now. Simmer down. Okay. Alright. What happened to my tractor video? It's only suitable for this one, I guess. Please just snap. Oh my god, thank you. I always do that every time. I'll go through the whole process and then forget to download it. Good. I'm definitely not getting shot from behind, but okay. One day that'll work, as it's supposed to. There should be a guy in here that drops a Fresnel. Where's my Fresnel? Is it you? There is. Oh yeah. You're right. Download complete did not go up. But the markers are also. What? Has it just not been progressing this whole time? Oh my god, dude, kill me now. This is gonna be such a brutal grind just because of how the game is. Expecting things to function as they're supposed to. Hilarious. I should know better. Do I just power through and see if it works through to the end? Now I'm already here. I may as well, right? I think 4.5 will go out. They haven't delayed a patch in a very long time. Like if they do delay it, they'll push it like maybe a week, but I think it'll come out this month. No, I've got ASD. It's well, other than the backpack, but I couldn't care less about that. I just want Idris parts. That's all I care about. Make it and might get fried by rads. So I better hurry the fuck up. Kinda hard to rush in heavy armor. Downside to trying to do this right before, or right as PTU is going on, right before a patch goes out. Live servers just start disintegrating. I don't know what is up with the deterioration. It's live when PTU is out, but it's so bad. Refill. Oh, what a tease. What a tease. It's gonna pop soon. You think they'll do a money wipe? I think if they do an economy wipe, it will be in tandem with crafting. I think when that happens, they'll personally, I think they should do an economy wipe with when crafting comes out, but that's purely for the sake of understanding what the grind will be like to get these resources to craft things. But I don't think we'll get an economy wipe with engineering, that's for sure. they'll need to have a better understanding how that grind is without money just buying all the resources that we could possibly need. Oh shit. Of course there's one left. I think an economy wipe is needed regardless, because the amount of people that are sitting on billions is ridiculous. Not to mention they've had a real problem with people duplicating UEC as well. Shocker right now. We were debating that earlier today in the game. Most people flaunting the wipe because of the duping that took place this patch. Hundreds of billions in the market now. Yeah, and it's making the economy absolutely ridiculous. People wanting like 1 or 2 billion, well, at the low end, for 1 or 2 billion for the pure Karenite. Like you're delusional. No. I mean, that's, I mean, even like 600 mil for pure Karenite, it's so ridiculous what the market's like right now. It definitely seems bugged, but we'll see if I can get the code. If it allows me to get the code, then I should be able to just complete the contract. Even though it's bugged out. Could just be a marker issue and objective listing issue and actually filling the contract, but there's also me just coding. BST gear selling for 200 mil? What the fuck, dude? Yeah, no, the economy is a joke in Star Citizen right now. It's absolutely absurd. Anyone actually just playing the game and farming the money the way that they farm it, however it may be, they're not, they can't participate in the player market whatsoever. They need an economy wipe desperately. But I don't think that's going to be on their plate until crafting, unfortunately. But to get the Idris, I am not buying it. Well, I'm going to do my best to not buy any bonds. I'm going to farm every little bit myself as best I can. I mean, I'll obviously do the stuff to be like Karenite. But when it comes to the rest of the list, that is 100% easily soloable. Not efficient, but it's soloable. What is this shit I am looking at, dude? Great. Good old scuffed citizen. Peek? Do it? Bro, you're gonna make this thing reset. before you even finish the circuit. Crafting shouldn't be that far away. Yeah, I think that's the next major step for CIG. It's crafting. Not much, I can't speak. Not much else beyond that for them to do, other than base building, and crafting has to come before that. Engineering and hull armor is by far like the biggest leap we've had in development in a very, very long time. I feel like Pyro was a pretty monumental jump, and now that they have a proper system in place for that, engineering is the next biggest one. And then, I mean, we're gonna see Genesis either before or the same time we see crafting roll out. I would hope they would roll out Genesis, let that bake with engineering and hull HP, or hull HP, armor, for like a month or two, and then roll out crafting. The Genesis is going to be such a massive component in crafting. Oh shit. Let's not get myself bugged out. That would be preferred. Hot take, not a big fan of engineering coming now? Why? Elaborate. What makes you not want engineering to come? Because I only see benefits from it. If you have a legitimate... Whoa. That almost killed me. You have like a legitimate reason, or is it because you can't handle your big ships on your own? I feel this kind of forces people to play with others and less solo. Imagine having to play with other people in an MMO. Or playing within your means. It's not like you won't be able to. I mean, that's okay. I'm gonna just say it. That's a bad take. Why smaller ships then? I guess. Okay, that's broken. I have to restart it. That. Oh man. That. You can still fly your big ass ships by yourself. You just need a crew if you want to engage in combat. Beyond that though, like I could still roll around in a Polaris. Will I be able to get into PvP fights with it? Not really. They're not gone. You just can't tank everything in the game. Like it's you. It's funny. Up to this point, every stream I've been like, you know, there's going to be that group that's going to be upset because they can't solo their C2s or their Caterpillars or their attacks. Well, you can kind of solo attack, or like, you know, their Polaris. You're not meant to solo those. You never were. And how broken the game becomes because you were soloing those? That's more of a bigger issue than engineering preventing that. It brings more balance. I mean, granted, it's temporary, because there will eventually be AI NPCs that you can hire. So you'll have AI crew members to manage your big ass ship that you refuse to play with other people in. To each their own. But I don't think that's a bad thing. You were doing, I mean, yeah, that's that's part of the problem. Doing missions at an Idris is so horridly broken. I mean, you can still roll out there and have spawn set, load up the Idris with a bunch of fighters, and then go to your mission location and then just try to take them out in your fighters. It's being selfish and picky. I'll give you credit that you're at least being self-aware. That's good, because there are a lot of players out there that are not. But yeah, I would say there's a good number of people, especially those who have like the big ass ships, who got too complacent. Like, oh, this is how it'll be for the foreseeable future, and suddenly that foreseeable future got very short-sighted. I think it's a good thing that it forces players to play and work together, rather than, some people rolling out in Idris and doing everything by themselves. That just means you gotta scale down. And it'll be better for the economy as well. You're not gonna have all these people that have like big ass ships that are able, I mean, like, for example, take a look at like any sort of mercenary mission where you're taking on a Polaris. That shit pays 200k. Excuse me, why? Because he had players rolling out there with the Polaris or an Idris, just one to three tap thing, where it should be like a group oriented. I mean, if you try to approach that group oriented, like max 4 people, you're only getting 50k a piece. That's not worth it. Why would I do that when I can go do a 130k mission by myself and take out a single target? That aspect alone, I think engineering is going to help a lot, as long as CIG adjusts the numbers or the payouts of those missions. We're crying for engineering for years, and now it's here. Well, to be fair, aren't they delaying when the Idris will actually get the full implementation of engineering, or is that delayed? I just saw that, so tired. I hope we get rearm and repair on capital ships. I think that will be the mid step between engineering and crafting, for sure. Maybe I'm worried because when you did PTU, engineering was bugged as fuck. It wasn't that bad when I was testing it. Granted, I was playing it day one, and from what I experienced, it wasn't that bad. But as does anything CIG releases, the first day is either horrendously buggy or works well, and then just deteriorates worse from there, and then picks itself back up, which is, just kind of the name of the game when it comes to testing. I mean, they still have like 2 weeks before the usual time that they roll out a patch to live, so they have time. I feel bad for all of the devs that are having to work on it right now, because I imagine they're working their asses off because of how much of a mess it is. Okay, let's hope this one doesn't bug out on me. I would like to be mildly productive tonight. Have a full ass work week's worth of just Hyperion to farm. No, I don't need any sort of delays. Squadron 42 coming in 2026 or getting delayed? That's a great question. Yeah, that is the question of the year, isn't it? Well, they're aiming to have it come out this year. No, well, it's almost this year. It come out in 2026. I think
Quantum drive is now on.
it's gonna be bad press for them if Squadron's delayed at all. But I think the Star Citizen community will be like, well, classic CIG. If it does happen, if they do release it next year, we all know it's going to be happening in like November, December. You know, the typical season of which games get released. And with how much development's been ramping up this year alone, let alone the last few months, I think it's likely we see it. When that releases, though, they gotta make sure that that Star Citizen is in a relatively good place. I'd imagine they would have crafting and base building. By then, 1.0 would probably roll out around the same time, if not shortly after in like Star Citizen terms. So probably like a 2027 would be my guess. It would be smarter for them to release Squadron 42 and 1.0 in tandem, just because you're going to get a lot more eyes on the development in general because of the single player experience and people being like, oh shit, there's going to be there's an online version of this. And then they get over here and they're like, oh shit, this is so scuffed. That's not going to work out well. Q4, maybe next IAE. I think what'll happen is we'll get a teaser during CitizenCon. We'll have more of an announcement during IAE, and then, I mean, it could be during IAE because that happens in November, but I think it'll be either during IAE, which probably not a good idea considering they do free fly and there will be more of an influx of people. But I could see it more likely, you know, around this time next year. Very end of November, beginning of December.
Quantum drive is now on.
I'm excited for that. I got one of the game packages that comes with Squadron 42, so I'm gonna have my hands on that the moment it's out. I don't think Star Citizen's come before 2027, 2028. Well, I mean, technically 1.0 is not even like full release, because they still won't have all the functions that are needed for the game come 1.0. I'm pretty sure they confirmed that hireable NPCs are not coming with 1.0, and that's like a core mechanic for the Banu merchantmen, let alone just players using bigger ships.
Tech impact warning.
Ooh, I definitely almost just blew up. Please don't be broken.
Shield system online.
Do let me in, please. Thank you. Over here spamming it. I figured I'd get this part of the grind out of the way. Ah, man, but Ace Pilots might be... Maybe I'll do Ace Pilots tomorrow. Ace Pilots are going to be a pain in the ass, too. And I may as well cheese the fuck out of that while I can and rock the Wikelo Polaris and farming Ace Pilots. That'd probably be the wiser move, honestly. Because these You know, it doesn't matter if engineering's out. I'll be able to crank these out no matter what. Ace pilots, I can crank those out too with just a fighter, but it's going to take me a hell of a lot longer. So I'll do a Hyperion tonight, and then I'll probably farm Ace pilots tomorrow. And probably until I have enough Ace pilot shit. So wasn't there like a shit ton of platoon medals too for it? Was needed. Oh, I'm dreading this. Why am I doing this to myself? 36th platoon medals, dude. Oh. That is horrible. Absolutely horrendous. $50 ace pilot helmets too. Ugh, nauseating. For those who weren't here at the very beginning of the stream, maybe I'll read off the list again. Yeah, just the ace pilot shit's a grind right there. It gets worse. As far as we know from the data miners, I foresee there being Vandal bits required, maybe odds and ends. If not, great. I'm not going to complain. If it's just this list I'm about to spit out, then fantastic. But as far as we know, 50 Wikelo favor. That was the same as the players. 50 Polaris bits. That's two times. Because it was like 24 for the players. So yeah. 50 Polaris bits. So that means that's like 12... No, that's more than that. Like 1,300 rounding up. 1,300 quantum or quantanium mined just to get Polaris bits. 50 comp board 5s. 50 Karenite. 30 pure Karenites. 36 platoon medals. 30 AAA grade pearls. 50 ace pilot helmets. 50 MG scripts. I already have a copious amount of those. 50 Apex Fangs. I already said the Karenite. 30 ASD secure drives. And oh, again, just the Hyperion is gonna take like 45 hours, about 40 to 45 hours. Like 5 of each recombinant, dude. PWL 1, 2, 3, RGL 1, 2, 3, XTL 1, 2, 3, 5 each. Takes like 40 minutes to an hour to run Hyperion each time. That is just that segment of the grind is like 40 hours. it's I hate myself for doing this, but you know, what else am I going to work towards the Star Citizen? Genuinely, there's not much else. I mean, I could farm every ship in the game, but by the time I'm done farming this, I'll probably have enough money to buy every ship in the game. From what you understand, they won't wipe it if I get it. Maybe between now and 1.0, but I don't know what their plan is when it comes to 1.0 coming out. I don't know if they've outright said anything regarding that, honestly. If they have, I missed it. Because, like, Wikelo stuff doesn't wipe between patches, but 1.0, though. I fully expect my Wikelo stuff to go bye-bye. Although, at the very least, it would be nice to get, like, paint blueprints or, like, some sort of thing being like, hey, good job. You had absolutely no self-respect during the testing up to this point. Here's your participation trophy. I'm okay with that. No complaints from me, but there better be something that persists. Guy's trying to beam me from over there, dude. Ugh. I really hate not having the max left. I should have grabbed one. Be what it be. I hope for CIG's sake that they do not make the Idris paint atrocious. It better be just the standard Wikelo paint. If it's the same as the Polaris but Idris form, I will be so happy. Like, hell yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. If they do some nonsense like the MX that they just released, oh, there's a guy right there. They do some nonsense like the MX that they just released, or like the Meteor. God, I'm gonna be so bothered. I don't know why they're trying to switch up the Wikelo paints. I'm sure maybe the pearlescent white's not everyone's flavor of choice, but you can throw a paint on there if you don't like it. Make it Wikelo specific. It's kind of cool to have a paint that's like, oh, this is this NPC's paint. Then you just decide to make it look like a testing dummy ship, or an ugly ass camo. No strays intended, bakes. The Polaris one, it was amazing. Yeah, 100%. It's so good. And they have that on other ships as well, like the Golem, the Intrepid, like most of the Wikelo ships, actually. And then for whatever reason, when the Ares and A2 came out, they're like, oh, let's try something different. You know that meme that came from like Bethesda games? Little pop-up that pops up in the corner. Everyone hated that. That's how I feel with the switch up on the Wikelo paints. Okay, seems to be functioning as it should. I'm not going to convince myself, but it does seem to be working. When I was talking to people about the Ares and the A2 that came out, I was like, oh, that's cool, right? Like a Wikelo variant? And they're like, yeah, but the paint. That's all people really care about. Like, sure, the components are nice because you get better components in it, but we all know we're here for the paint. It was clearly the main lure of Wikelo ships. There is a part of me that's, ooh, shit. I'm very worried about what the Idris will look like when I throw it out into the wild. Got 2 rounds. I don't feel like reloading. I'm gonna be mad at a full white Polaris paint, but Yeah, the closest you can get to a full white Polaris paint is the Wikelo variant. And that's a grind in and of itself, honestly. I mean, I have the Wikelo variant, but I didn't farm all the components from it. I bought a lot of it off of people. Oh shit. He's almost very dead there. The shark tooth one, but everyone else has it too. So it's mad now. Yeah. With the Idris, that's not my taste in paint, but the Idris, it makes sense to have the shark tooth one. Like, out of all the ships to throw that onto, that one makes the most sense to do it to. But I would love a pearlescent white. Pearlescent white Idris. Or even if they like murdered it out or like did some sort of like metallic thing, make it fancy, baby. Don't give me some cheesy ass. Feels so bad. Some cheesy ass camo or something like that. Which are like there's an absurd abundance of those paints for every ship out there. Oh my god, yes. It's working. I'm glad it's taking the proper steps forward. I'm not gonna get too excited too early. It's Star Citizen after all. I'm bound to break. Wait till they release a purple one, like the best in show, a 53. Oh god, no. Please no. You know, honestly, however, the best in show this year, pretty damn good. How did the guys without armor survive the explosion? Anyway, to finish that thought, the best in show from this year would look so sick on an Idris. I've only seen, I don't have any of the ships, so I don't have any of the best in show things, but the only ship I've seen it on is the Zeus, but it looks good. I would love to see it on an Idris. I honestly, I would not be, I know someone would be upset out there, but I would not be upset if they just decided to throw the best in show paint on the Wikelo Idris. At that point, I'd be like, good on them. That would look good. Okay, I am going to get that gun. Just for the refill. Having to use med pens gets old real fast. But I like my med gun that I have. It's a fancy one. It's the amalgam one. I don't know when or where I found it, but I like it. So wait for me to like... Is there any way for me to unload it? Won't let me just grab the Like every other gun, it lets you. Not this one. I appreciate you popping in. Get some rest. Don't be a degenerate like me. Try to farm an Idris. Did I subscribe for the BTU Wave 1? Yeah, I was playing it on day 1 of the BTU. Checked everything out. Wanted to see what it was like. But yeah, saw what I wanted to see, saw they fixed what I need to. I'm worse that it's been 1900 on it. Valid. I'm a different kind of degen, I guess. Yeah, I saw what I wanted to see from the BTU. I'm not like seeing the new stuff, interacting with the new stuff. I'm not one to sit there and just like pour a copious amount of hours into testing those things, because there's other shit I have to work towards on the live servers, like preemptively farming everything for the Idris, for example. So hence why I'm here. Yeah, I like the engineering. I think it's good. I did a bit off stream, and from what I experienced, I think it's great. I mean, it's buggy as hell, but no, I was spamming J on the med gun and it didn't do anything. The main concern I had with engineering was how fried single cooler ships were, and they fixed that, so I don't have to worry about that. Beyond that, like, armor is great. There's obviously a copious amount of balancing they need to do when it comes to the different armors and all that jazz. There's definitely some balancing. I tuned into an Avenger 1 stream this morning while I was working to see what hot take the man had, because he always has. It's so conflicting, you know, because Avenger 1, he knows his PvP, he knows his dogfighting, all good on that. He also has the most out there takes when it comes to this stuff. Like saying that, oh, the time to kill takes way too long now. He said this today. It takes way too long now. 7 seconds to kill an F7 in an arrow is way too long? What? In what world does that make sense? I heard him say that and I was like, nope. I heard what I needed to hear. That is insane. 7 seconds is too long to take down an F7 when using an arrow. I heard him say that. I'm like, wow, okay. I was expecting some hot takes, but that by far is the last thing I expected. I feel like that's more than a reasonable amount of time. Especially from like a gameplay standpoint. Oh, fuck. It's so hard to do those hops with heavy armor. I was thinking about climbing up over there, and now my hesitation is likely going to get me blasted by radiation. I almost messed up the jump again, dude. How many runs do we think it's gonna take me to get 30 AAA pearls? Or like, I've had it to where I've done I want to say it was like 7 or 8 runs, and I saw 0 pearls. I think that is probably the thing that's going to take me the longest by far. This is probably the easiest because it's, you know, it's a guaranteed drop. It's not battling RNG. God damn. How many demons are there? They were not like that in the last one. I mean, they were, but not all at once. Shit, I'm at 50% health. I gotta be more careful. Oh, where'd the leg go? I down him? Surely not, he's gotta still be up. Normally, oh fuck, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Make it. I thought I was not gonna make that. This is the last one, there you are. With how beaming the NPCs are, definitely makes these runs take longer. Where'd you go, bud? Come on. I don't have the patience, peek. They're all hiding. Oh, damn, they're all hiding in the same spot, too. Whatever, I'm just gonna go. Oh. In my time. Now watch, because of all this delay in here, it's gonna end up resetting the switches right as I get to 6. Not sure what just happened there, but okay. Nice. why I hate the med gun, dude. If I didn't need all my multi-tools, I'd have the medical attachment. Looking forward to Site B when I can get more Fresnel ammo. Landing and getting stuck like that definitely does not help with the speedrunning aspect whatsoever. Not that I'm doing a very good job of that to begin with, but... You know what's gonna piss me off? Be doing a bunch of this farming, right? And then 4.5 rolls out and a bunch of the shit doesn't persist. I suppose that would be a benefit to not trying to farm the 6th to 15 levels, knowing my luck, that would be the one time it doesn't actually persist through a patch. I know a bunch of other people have been struggling with that, but I have not had that happen once in a single patch, as well as when I keep all the medals. But now that I've said that, it's gonna happen this patch. Oh man, I'm trying not to think about the fact I have to do this 43 more times after this run. 42 more times after this. It's so much fun. Understandable if it is dangerous, but it's gonna be painful. I'm gonna have to like switch it up extreme. Not farming the same shit over and over, day in, day out, because I don't know if I could. No, I know for a fact I would not be able to handle doing this 45 times consecutively. I've already pretty much done that when Onyx originally, well, originally came out. I did nothing but Hyperion runs for like a week straight. It was hell. Okay. I thought the switch was completely gone, dude. But there was no coming back from that. I love that sticky feet landing bug that has. Do I go for 2s? Do I just focus on a single code, or do I spread it out? I'm gonna go for 3 this time. I have PWL. I'm gonna have to write this shit down somewhere. I have PWL2 and XTL2. And then I'll hit the code. procured. Let's get the folk out and go to research. I'm gonna go heal up first though. I know I'm not going to be the first guy to get a Wikelo Idris, but I'd like to think I'll be the first solo to get a Wikelo Idris. Farming that shit really by myself, well, mostly, because I don't think I'll be able to, I don't think I'd have it in me to do the Valakar and the, well, I can solo the Valakar, that's not a problem, but it just takes way too long. But the Karadite's gonna be the main hurdle. What? How? There has been information put out there that there is a Wikelo Idris coming next batch. Some data miners pulled out the requirements. I don't think the entire recipe list has been put out. I think there's stuff missing from it, but if it's, I mean, we all know it's going to require like pretty much everything the players did and more. But from what the data miners pulled out, there's a lot to grind. A lot. But, or are you saying specifically how can I solo the Valakar? So I was rambling there for a minute. Soloing the Apex Valakar just takes patience, honestly. Maybe a touch of masochism. Self-loathing. No self-respect. That's all you need to farm the Valakar by yourself. Definitely pros and cons to doing it by yourself. If you're a greedy boy like I am, you know, more Valakar bits all to yourself. But it takes like an hour just to kill the damn thing. Well, an hour to do the Lazarus stuff, I guess. They like solid 30 to 40 minutes shooting up the Valakar. For that. Oh, what? You have the, all these red armored guys have the Fresnel now. But thank you, kind sir. I'll definitely be taking that ammo. There's only 3 guys that ever spawn here. Where the hell did that nade come from? What? I would like none of that, thank you. Alright. Which one do we do? Which one do we do? I think the most annoying one is by far biomass. So I suppose I will do that one first. easy being thick. It's a little difficult to make that jump when you're carrying the Fresnel. Surely that got him, right? Of course not. That did though. I hate gang XTLs. They're so annoying. Ooh, shit, that's a guy. The polarizer slaps, but it is definitely not the most ideal thing to use out of range. God damn, that guy is just unloading, dude. The amount of shots he let out? Uncalled for. There's Mr. Shotty Man. That was trying to bust a move on his final breath. Well, at least they came to me. This makes it easier to use her. Rotate. Rotate? You not rotate bodies? Well, he doesn't have the ammo I want, so I don't care. This is also the most tedious one, which is more so the reason why. Ooh, that's a lot of guys. It's more so the reason why I hate doing this one, because it takes longer to do it. The other two, you can just blitz down to where the catalyst is. Get your shit and get out. This one you have like 30 guys you gotta gun down, and then you gotta load the box. How dare the game make me work for my stuff? That's what I had out, thank you. It's my favorite when the game does that. I 100% expect there to be additional mats for the Idris other than what's been data mined. I would think that there would be a requirement of like vandal stuff. I'm thinking like I'll be surprised. Oh shit, oh shit, oh fucking. I will be surprised if there isn't like a requirement of 50 plating and metal from QE stations. Got that. Please don't do that shit. If it makes me throw my gun away, I'm going to be so annoyed. I think that's enough bodies. Oh wait, you got Fresnel ammo. Give. Yes. I'll happily take that off you. You were useful in. Oh my god, another guy. Always in one. Oh, that guy is still there. And that guy, jeez. Is everybody dead finally? Please? Then I wonder why I don't like getting XTLs. Almost forgot that those guys spawn. That would have been the end of me if I didn't realize. Oh, that guy's charging up. And beaming before he even stands. Get the stupid data and go. There's always that mild bit of agita anticipating that it's just not going to work. So like when the first week of this was out, that started breaking real fast. Also, does anyone remember when they first released Site B? There was that weird anomaly going up and down this shaft, and it was just never to be seen again. Why did they not keep that? Because it like softened your drop falling down here. You timed it right? Gotta be above me. The worst thing in existence in Star Citizen. Definitely Copion. I don't think you'll ever catch a stream where I don't complain about them once. Well, maybe when I'm not dealing with them, but I've been dealing with them a lot lately. They're not a good time. Both mags are low, that's not good. Oh, let's go. No, to just hide and wait. I'm not gonna bother wasting the ammo on the other guys. Let them settle their differences. Save my ammo. Definitely saw that coming though. No injuries. Love to see it. I can just go straight to Site B. and stock up on mags in that first room. Good and loaded for the rest of the run. Yeah, I'm definitely not doing each chunk all consecutively. There's no way I'd be able to keep my sanity. I don't know why I got so disoriented coming down here. I'm like, this doesn't look like where I'm supposed to be in. My brain was behind like 2 business days. Stock up on ammo. Suppose that one would look better. The rockfall one. Well, maybe not with the armor that I got. There's no Fresnel gun that would really match the kit I have on. I mean, I guess maybe the black one. Gonna sweat about that though. I got enough shit to farm. Always lay down and call for the amount of times. Well, I think I've done it once, maybe twice, but shit. Get up, run and hide. Crap, I have the turret guys now. Add. We can go. There's that one behind that lift right there. What are you doing, bud? Savoring their last moments. How's it going? Decided to come join the masochism, did you? I feel like their helmets don't render sometimes, because I don't think there should be a 2-shot for the dome. I don't think it normally is. Dude, there was someone watching my stream yesterday who said that Expedition is too emo. And if they're watching right now, yes, I'm still hung up on that. More Hyperion, dude. Oh, don't 40. I have to do 45 runs. 43. 42 after this. Supposedly, with the requirements that are needed for the Idris. I spouted it off earlier in the stream, but the Idris requirements: 50 Wikelo favor, 50 Polaris bits, 50 comp board 5s, 50 Karenite, 50 or not 50, 30 pure Karenite, 50 Apex Fangs, 50 MG script, 50 Ace Pilot helmets, 30 AAA grade pearls, 30 ASD secure drives, 30 6 platoon medals, and 5 of each recombinant, so 45 total Hyperion runs. And I already said this as well, but I fully expect there to be a requirement of like 30 or 50 manual metal and plating, but that's not listed from the data line. You know, what else am I gonna grind towards in Star Citizen? Other than the biggest, one of the biggest and most expensive flyable ship in game. I already have the Polaris. I gotta do Idris. If I were to play this 8 hours a day for the next month, I might get close to getting all of the components for the Idris. Which won't mean much when engineering comes out. I wouldn't be so pessimistic about it. Sure, I won't be able to use it by myself, but I will have one of the most OP ships in the game, and I could run it crewed, and I won't have to spend $1,000 to $1,900 on the ship. So I mean, that's a win in and of itself, and it'll have the special Wikelo paint. So you're dreading engineering mostly play solo. It's funny, we were having this conversation on stream earlier. There was a guy that came in on the Switch end of things, and he was like, yeah, I'm not looking forward to engineering because I won't be able to solo my big ships anymore. I'm like, well, they were fully self-aware, so that was good. But just like, yeah, I don't like that I'll have to be forced to play with other players. I'm like, wow, okay. Most anti-social behavior in a social game. But I think that I think overall it's a good thing. It grounds players into what the reality of the game will be in the future, and it's temporary until we get terrible NPCs. But even then, I think it's gonna help with the economy a lot. Because like my main point was the Polaris mission only being 200k. Originally it was 800k, but being 200k is because everybody was pulling out their big ass ships and soloing it and breaking the economy of actually running that mission. With engineering, that tones that down and brings it to a more realistic kind of economic standpoint. You're hoping they would release AI crew first? What? Okay. How? How would they release AI crew first when they have nothing for them to do? They need engineering to be fine-tuned they can allocate the NPCs to do what they need to do. So it's gonna be rough for the time being, sure, but it's a necessary growing pain. Drugs, I mean, the bittersweet reality of testing a game, right? Not always going to be exactly how you want it, and there's going to be painful parts of the process. You won't be able to solo your Asgard. You can solo your Asgard. You just won't be able to take on bigger ships in your Asgard. You can solo it. I think this is like the same sort of people that are like, oh, I can't go to Pyro because, you know, the piracy, the griefing, and the ganking, and the camping. There's more of that in Stanton than there is in Pyro. And like the comparison I'm making, the same sort of people that have that train of thought are like, oh, I can't solo my bigger ships like Corsair or an Asgard or Connie. You'll be able to solo them. I mean, Asgard, you're mostly, what, doing cargo and shit? Like, as long as you're not getting into crazy heavy dogfights with the bigger ships, you'll be fine. And with armor being the thing. But ships like the Corsair doesn't get shit for damage when it comes to, like, size 2s hitting it. But it'll take a damage... it'll still take damage, but like once you start getting hit by size 4s, then it becomes an issue, right? So you'll be able to do most things in your bigger ships. You just have to reorient yourself as to what your reality is. First choice you get into. But the first combat you get into, by choice or not, will be the end of you. I don't think so. You'll have to approach things more carefully, but I don't think it'll be the end of you. You just won't necessarily be more as carefree. I mean, how often do you think you're actually going to be pirated or approached by anyone in PvP? Most of the people who do the camping and griefing, they're in more shitter dogfighters. They prefer their arrows and hawks. Hawks aren't going to do shit for damage. They have size 1s and 2s. So the dynamic of, like, what's the meta ship to use in PvP is going to shift heavily. Probably going to see a lot more heavy fighters out there, to be honest. Which, in that case, yeah, you'll get fucked up. But if you're doing industrial gameplay, or even like FPS gameplay, engineering isn't really going to impact you too heavily. I mean, you're going to have an impact from, like, mining. Salvage doesn't really get impacted, really, but... You run into PvP often in Stars? I don't feel like I run into PvP that often. And I do, like, Apex Valakar and shit. And I setting on the day, but most of the time, more often than not, I don't run into people out there. I'd say go hang out in Pyro. Genuinely, like, I almost never run into PvP there, and the only time I do, it's like outside of a station, contested zones, or Golden Riviera. There's like no PvP anywhere else. You're going to run into like quantum interdictors everywhere in Stanton, and especially so Nyx. Now that Free Fly is coming to an end, Nyx is going to be riddled with quantum snares, dude. With the cryopods being such a hot commodity. I had like 100 of those cryopods sitting in an M2, which was just a casual, like, rounding it, but casual, like, 12 mil. A little over 12, I think it was like closer to 13 mil, just sitting in there in a single load. If anyone's smart, they're not going to do it like I did and take them all at once. But I was just like, I'm too lazy. I have way too many to... I let them stack up at TV. I was like, I need to harbor these over to somewhere else. And decided to do that in one sitting, and that was a nightmare. I don't think engineering is going to be as bad as a lot of people are trying. That's just perspective, I suppose. I'm not one to roll in big ass ships, so I guess it's not really bumming me out as much. And even if I am to roll out in a big ass ship, it'll just be a Polaris, and I'll use it as like a main hub to operate out of. Same with the Idris. Yeah, even more so with the Idris. If I get the Wikelo Idris, I'm just gonna load that bitch up with like every ship I possibly can, and then set my spawn in it, park it somewhere, and use it to go hop around and not have to go anywhere to land. Ship runs out of ammo or fuel. Oh, well, time to grab a different ship. You don't care that you can't solo your big ships? Well, yeah, I still think ships like the Asgard, the Corsair, and the Connie can be soloed, though. The issue for you is it's just annoying. You don't like the depth of gameplay added in. I mean, the only time it's gonna get annoying is when you end up... Oh, still alive. It's a little awkward, isn't it? The only time it's gonna get annoying, in my opinion, is if your components get shot out and you have to run around to repair things. Wearing down of parts over time, even not in combat. Then you have to go back and repair between missions. Very extra? Sure, it adds to an extra step to the tedium that we already have in Star Citizen. I can understand the lack of appeal on that. I don't fault you for that, but I think it's kind of cool. As long as you got the money to replace the parts, it's not so bad, right? I think it's definitely going to become a norm for people to just have extra parts in their ship. That way they don't have to worry about wear as often, but I don't think the wear and tear on ship components is that severe to where that's going to be much of a concern. I mean, how often do you really go between stations as is? Between missions? How often do you go to stations between missions? I mean, I think that'll line up with how often you'll have to go back and repair your stuff. Anyone else notice the bullets just levitating there? I can kind of get why people aren't. Not everybody's looking forward to it, but We all knew it was coming. You use ballistic more and you're good with the... I mean, I don't think... I mean, yeah, sure, you could use ballistics more. Since you already have to go back and repair your shit regularly anyway, but...
Initializing project criteria. Preparing captains to region for processing. Stand by. Commencing inference recombination.
I think you'd still do 5 of these lasers.
Process complete. Power down.
I think one of the things that kind of excites me with the engineering is it's going to slow everybody's roll with getting anything done, progression, so on and so forth, because like,
Data's coming.
and that may be like,
That's what I like to see. Thanks for making it.
that also is probably one of the less appealing things, but I think it's kind of like the Hull C situation where they nerfed the shit out of those contracts, and now like the same Hull C missions pay out like a third of what they did. That's a good thing. Not sure how the economy of it's. The economy will be better. Like slowing things down. I don't know that the increase of costs, they'll be there, but like there's no reason that you should be making millions in a day, you know? Having us be more paced within the smaller ships and getting a feel for stages of progression in ship size and objective is a hell of a lot better. I mean, like, I already brought this up. This is probably like third or fourth time, but like, for example, one example, the mercenary mission to do the Polaris. There is no reasonable explanation other than people are soloing it with big ass ships that they shouldn't be. That's why that is 200k. The payout to do a Polaris being 200k, but you know, going taking down a Caterpillar or something equivalent size, and that being your main target, but a handful of other ships also being there, only being like 130k, and you only get a 70k pay bump to go take down a Polaris. 0 cents. And engineering is gonna level that out for the economy. I did not do the peel. It'll be interesting to see how progression gets stunted. I mean, but, you know, players have been so accustomed to making millions in a day and being able to be like, oh, well, I want this bigger ship, and if I just hyper focus this one thing for the next like 2 or 3 days, I can go get like an end game ship. That It's funny you say that. Funny you say that. Sure, new player perspective. You know why I showed up to this mission with? A cutter. You know how many FPS missions pay like 200, 250k? You don't need a big ass ship to make good money. You just have to resituate yourself as to like what line of work you want to do to make a lot of money. And then look at industrial gameplay. That makes decent money. You could easily make like a $250,000 by stuffing a vulture. Not to mention mining being profitable, cargo hauling being decently profitable. Depending on the ship you got, dogfighting's profitable. Once you get to that rep level, then it's not an issue. You know, if a fresh player starts and they have the cutter and they're doing like they're basically having enough to sustain their ship with extra money left over to pocket rather than all of the money to pocket, that makes more sense in an economy standpoint. I don't think the repairs are going to be that astronomical as you might be thinking they will be. Sure, we'll have to repair more often. But even then, how many players are just going to be like, yeah, fuck that, I'll just deal with the claim timer? You know? It may not be the economy we've been used to, but the economy we've had has been busted for who knows how long. So it's definitely for the better. Especially in the sense of like making players stay within a ship or like a class of ship, not size, a ship size for longer, I think is better for the overall game as well. I think the cost will be expensive because you have to buy new parts when they totally break. Claim? Just claim not reset the parts wear and tear? Insurance fraud at that point, right? Of course, until they adjust that, then we'll have to adjust accordingly, but it's not shit. It's not loading the mission I want. Let's try going back to our corp, maybe it'll load. It's gonna be doing this shit. It's gonna make me take way longer. Works for now until everything's persistent, and then at that point, like I was saying earlier, growing pains, right? We don't know what the economy is going to look like, and I don't think CIG even knows what the economy is going to look like. I think that's their next step. Is engineering, get that sorted, get it balanced, reasonably so, and then the two next steps that they have is, and they go in tandem with one another, economy and crafting. So those go hand in hand. And when that happens, don't be surprised if there's an economy wipe. God damn it, it's not giving me the mission. That sucks. Can't wait to bring your ships to dry dock to hand paint it after you fly it in a sandstorm. They need a gold pass on all ship. Current standard is more so the term I'd prefer to use, but yeah, they do need to current standard a lot of ships. I don't think we're gonna get crafting for a while. and the time it takes to current standard a lot of ships. I mean, to say they need to put a gold pass on all ships first, you could say that before, for that being the case, before they introduce engineering. But here we are, and we have several ships that don't have a current standard. At the end of the day, core mechanics reign priority above all else. That's what you meant. Well, there's plenty of ship out there that has current standard though, right? So you may not be able to use all of the ships to its fullest extent. Most of them. What ship doesn't have, other than Idris, because I know they're delaying on putting that one to the standard of engineering, but what ship do we have our hands on right now that isn't compatible with engineering? And that's a genuine question. I don't think anyone. I can't think of any ship. The Reclaimer's crying hard. That one. The Reclaimer, the Caterpillar, the 600i, the Aurora they're working on, the Freelancer. Those are the ships I could think of off the top of my head that need a current standard pass on it. But I can't think of anything else. Of course, those are the ships that, you know, I've put my hands on and I'm familiar with to a degree. Not that I like the Freelancer, but all of the solo ships have engineering from the MFD. That makes no sense. For dogfighters, it does. For solely just cockpit ships, it does. Thinking of the Salvation and like the Golem. For ships like the Cutter, I think this one's from MFD as well, but it's a limited capability. I'm pretty sure like most ships have access to engineering from the MFD. It's just not nearly to the extent that the engineering screen has. And the Golem has parts. Yeah. Yeah, they're all external. Just like a lot of dogfighters, but you're able to access the like engineering functionality stuff from like, and to say like you have access to engineering from MFD is a little misleading because you don't have like the engineering screen that a lot of other ships have. You have the basic functionalities that you would need in a soloable ship, like power management and doing repairs. Beyond that, what else do you need, you know? Other than ships that have interiors you need to hop out and spray down with a fire extinguisher. Ox has parts that you can take out but you can't put back in. Yeah, because it has the... yeah, because it has the snapping conflict with the grid. It was like, oh, that's a pretty good idea from a design standpoint for the ship. From a gameplay standpoint, not so much. Because it really wants to snap onto the grid rather than into the component slot. Damn. Yeah, it's not going to let me do Hyperion back to back, so I guess, let's go to Hurston. I have to just bounce between Hurston and Harcourt to do these. As much as I like that song, it is a little too intense for a quantum jump. Just not sold on this. I'm what about it are you not sold on? So I'm just trying to understand from like your perspective as to what you're not on board with appreciate you hanging out so hard. Oh, I think someone does need some sleep. You coming in with those sass. Jesus. I think it's an adjustment that we're all gonna have to bear, but it's not like it's turning into the game we haven't been expecting, you know? So like, as far as I can understand from what you've said so far as to why you're not sold on it, is expenses for repairs, not as soloable for now. Ships don't have a standard pass or current standard on it. I can't think of a ship that can't handle engineering, but do need current standard passes on them. The economy is going to shift regardless, and it's going to shift again. So, as far as economy goes, that's just out the wind, especially with everybody duping UEC and the player economy just being hog water in the current state. So that's null and void. And it's stupid easy to make money anyway, even in a starter ship. That sums it up. I think those are just knee-jerk reactions, though. It's not... there's nothing... no solid foundation to have any sort of disdain towards engineering, you know? Like I said, economy, whatever. Standard pass, the ships work with engineering, so that's what matters. Even if they don't have a current standard pass, which I'll give you that one, but most of the ships are fine. And all of them function as we would need them to. And then the not being able to solo ships, which you will, you just have to play within your means. Which I think is just a harsh reality a lot of people are gonna have to face. Not being able to roll, well, you'll be able to roll around in your big ass ships. Just what you're able to endure in those big ass ships will slightly shift, and I don't think it'll be as bad as a lot of people think it's going to be, because of armor. Armor deters a lot of the bullshit. So anyone rolling around with smaller weapons, it's not going to impact you very much in a bigger ship. Most of the shitters roll around in ships that are smaller. I guarantee, though, you're going to see a lot of people rolling around in Guardians. Hope it's not as bad as you think it'll be. I think it'll be fine. Have you tried the PTU at all? Or do you have access to it? Go land at Everest real quick. I tapped into the PTU, and I think it's fine. It's just that there's more steps involved in existing in the persistent universe, you know? So like I said, it'll be an adjustment. I have access, but I haven't tried. Don't have the space. Fair. For me personally, I don't like the range of ship size I use is probably, you know, Cutter to Corsair. That fluctuates a little bit with like a raft and what have you. And that also ranges from every type of ship, from like starters to fighters to industrial. And I don't see any hurdle in me being able to use any of the ships I normally use. Maybe a little
Please
bit
proceed
with
to
like
assigned landing bay.
a ship like the Corsair. But that's purely in the aspect of, oh, I'm going to be dealing with combat in this. Yeah, probably not the best idea. What about the M2? I mean, I could use the M2, it just got like... I barely even use that to begin with, honestly. I could still use that though. Like if I have a lot of cargo I need to move, yeah, 100% I could use that. Will I be able to endure combat? Not nearly as well as I could if I had a crew, but it would be doable. It's not like I'd actually go into combat in that thing.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
I wouldn't go into combat with that thing as is. Even though it has more firepower and more HP than a C2, which is why I got that one. The intent is to have ships be able to be soloed, however they will require maintenance, unless you're going into combat. Yeah, that's why I keep saying, like, unless you get into combat, then it's a different story. Otherwise, you're just maintaining the ship. So every ship is usable. Just, you know, the bigger the ship, the bigger the maintenance cost. That's the only issue at hand. Aside from combat, obviously. But that's where, you know, armor and all that jazz comes into play. And like I was saying with the shift of what people use for... That guy's gotta realize he can't use the elevator. Watch, it's gonna open here. Okay, make me a liar. Maybe they just committed to going to a random spot, or they were going to a pad. But you're gonna see a lot more heavy fighters, I think. A lot more heavy fighters and a lot more Omniski cannons. Apparently Omniski cannons are cracked in the current state. Maybe I just don't understand this. Oh, this is just a combat related thing, then okay, but you're going to be flying your ship and it just shuts down in deep space while you can't. No. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you are really bad and neglect your ship over an insanely prolonged period of time, that might happen. But otherwise, yeah, it's purely just a combat thing with a bit of wear and tear. So take combat out, all you're going to have to do is maintain the ship a little bit. And by a little bit, that's just like, oh, there's a bit of wear and tear on this, go repair it. It's... They did say they're introducing random failures. I mean, but that's with the, like, fuses and stuff like that. But, like, how often... I mean, that's like a fuse going out in your car. How often is that going to happen, right? I think it depends on how frequented the ship is used. without maintenance. I'm sure that'll be a factor involved in it. But I don't think it's going to be like, oh, every other jump your shit just shuts down. You know? That would just be incredibly annoying, and you know the entire community would just bitch and whine about that. But it's not like, you know, oh, I got a random failure. Now I have to go replace that component. It's not going to be like that level of tedium added into it. Oh. We'll see how bad it is. If they are introducing random failures, I mean, are they going to introduce that with 4.5? You're gonna need AAA. Hey, you know, that actually might become an aspect in the gameplay, where you end up needing someone to come tow your shit. Those components that you are having to literally pull the failed component and throw it from the ship before it goes critical and explodes. They really? That's pretty ass. That's a bit much. That's a bit much. What the fuck? Oh, but random failures? There's gotta be a threshold with wear and tear involved in random failures, right? There's no way they just have that shit just like, oh, your ship is in pristine condition, go to quantum jump, random failure, get fucked, bud. Surely there has to be some sort of involvement in wear and tear. I think overall it'll be fine. Just a lot of balancing. I've seen the nose damage mechanic. In what sense? Elaborate on that. Okay, that was a post on Spectrum that is really informative and speaks to the intention of what's coming in. Well, I'm not gonna go dig for that. If someone feels so inclined to post that in the Discord, then I'll take a look. But I'm really bad about like digging around on Spectrum. I cannot be bothered. In any ship, no matter how much shield or HP, if your nose gets destroyed, the ship goes critical and explodes. Why? Why would they do that? That makes no sense. Because at that point, you know, the whole... That just kind of like throws the need to shoot components. Unless you're trying to board them. That's really dumb. I haven't seen any of that. But we got a lot of shit. The design doc for engineering. Is that what you were referring to? Biggs posted that earlier. Biggs is really good about throwing that shit up into the Discord. It's like 3 to 4 pages. Oh fuck. Well. I think I found the poster we're talking about. Foxy Loxy. I don't watch Foxy Loxy, dude. I get his videos are like a bit informative, but I find it, I don't know, I can't watch them. I don't know why. I mean, like with the Perseus video where you put the ballistic PDCs on there, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then he doesn't show what ship the turrets are shooting at. It's just showing the turrets shoot, and I'm like, well, this doesn't tell me anything. It was very lacking in information, so I ended up trying it myself, but this, oh my god. This is posted in the Discord. Holy shit. So if anyone's inclined to go read that, mention that as one of the errors they're working on. Oh, so that's not intentional. It's not a mechanic, it's a bug. Yeah, okay. Lovely. Oh boy, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to read through this at some point. Probably do that at the beginning of stream tomorrow, because I am tired. I need to end it. Have to get up early tomorrow, so appreciate you guys. Yeah, that is the document. Okay, well, if anyone wants to go read it, it's the most recent thing posted in the general chat on the Discord. I guess I can post a link in the stream chat. Do that real quick. So, I will be live around the same time tomorrow, about 5:30, 6 p.m. Pacific time. We'll continue grinding the stuff needed for the Wikelo Idris when it comes next patch. We'll talk a little more about engineering and what to expect from that. Probably go over that document. Thanks for listening to you complain. I don't think it's complaining, man. I think it's a constructive conversation is what it is. Because there's raises for concern from some players, not so much for others. It's good to have that open discussion. Anywho, with that said, we could discuss it more tomorrow. I'll go over that document probably at the beginning of stream tomorrow. That way we're all more informed on the matter. Otherwise, you know, it'll just be more nonsense farming for the Idris, because I hate myself apparently. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever it may be for you. I will see you all tomorrow at the usual time.